Okay, welcome to the March 2nd Thursday chat. We have a very busy schedule. We're going to start off with a raffle, and we're going to have Bonnie Rosenberg introduce things. She's one of the co-chairs of the raffle. Go ahead, Bonnie. Huh? You'll have to unmute yourself because I don't see you.
Good?
Sorry, try. Did I?
Okay. Hi, everybody. I am so honored to be here today, and Sandy would be sitting by my side, but he is teaching a class at the moment and will join us soon. I want to start with a huge thank you to this extraordinary community. First of all, I'd like to point out how smart you are and how fabulous our ticket sellers have been, because they made the point that if you bought your tickets early, you'd be entered in all of the raffles. And you did that in incredible numbers. And we have sold over 300 tickets already. And you can do the arithmetic, so you know that we're filling up that scholarship fund. I have to say the ticket sellers have been phenomenal, and their names are all around the campus, so you can thank them each personally. And they have also built sacred community. The way I'd love to start today is similar to what we did last week. And I'd love to highlight one of our scholarship recipients, somebody that many of you know, Nancy Vega, who helps with the programs. And I am going to turn to the amazing Faye and ask her if she'd share her screen and bring Nancy to all of us. And then you'll come back and I'll turn you over to the King of Raffle, Mr. Paul Hardiman. Uh-oh.
No sound.
Uh-oh. What can we do?
It's Faye Busson, right?
You're muted, Nancy.
So,
No sound.
Faye, when you share your screen,
start
you have
over
to
now.
enable the audio in that box. So you may need to stop sharing and then hit share screen again. And then there's a little button on the bottom of the pop-up window that says to turn on to share your audio.
Okay, let's start over.
Hi, everyone. Because of the scholarship fund, I was able to participate in a highly selective dual program.
Faye, now we cannot see Nancy. There is no video.
I am getting my master's in business administration. I am also receiving a Master of Science in digital technology.
You can,
Share your screen.
that is shared screen.
No,
I think
it's not.
Okay, let's start over.
Hi, everyone. I was able to participate in a highly selective dual program that is only offered at Boston University. While I am getting my master's in business administration, I am also receiving a Master of Science in digital technology. The scholarship fund gave me the access to extra classes without it affecting my full-time employment and my part-time student status. So without it, this wouldn't have been possible. And I'm proud to say that I will be graduating May 2024 because of it. So thank you.
That work?
yes.
Yes.
Go ahead, Bonnie.
I'm going to turn it to the King.
Well, thank you, Bonnie. That's more than I expected, but certainly less than I deserve. We're broadcasting here from the executive conference room at the community center. And we've had a very, very busy and exciting day. And incidentally, I hope all the winners from last week, Sunday, Thursday, enjoyed their prizes. The only disappointment I had last week is out of the 50 Sundays that were awarded, I didn't see one of them. But be that as it may. Today, we're going to have the first of 3 raffle drawings. There'll be one, obviously, today. We'll have another one on the 9th, next Thursday, and the grand drawing will take place on March 16. And that's going to be absolutely terrific. But today's drawing will have 8 great prizes. And the winner will be drawn from a pool of our residents that have already bought tickets. And today's lucky residents could win 2 gift certificates. There'll be 2 winners to the Bella Vita Salon for $75 each. I understand that's a beautiful life, so hopefully that'll work out. There'll be 2 winners from the lifelong learning courses, courtesy of Larissa in the programming department. And we will also have a quilted wall hanging made by our own resident, Naomi Webb, and Bonnie will give you some samples. You'll have a choice, not of more than these 2, but this is typical of what the winner will be able to choose from. Bonnie?
Here is the first beautiful wall hanging. And then here is the second. They also have great names. This one is called The Getaway. That's for those of us who can't get to Florida. We hang that up and we're there.
Thank you, Bonnie. In addition, there'll be 2 winners of dinner outings, courtesy again of Larissa in programming. And lastly, there'll be 1 winner of 2 Red Sox tickets that were graciously donated by Lou Wolf, who's president and CEO of Hebrew Senior Life. And today we have 2 guests to draw our winners, Joe Zagalis and Mark, and I've already apologized to Mark here beforehand, Mark Brzezinski.
That works.
That works, all right. All right, fellas, let's see who the winners are.
Go ahead. I'm gonna go first.
This is for the salon gift certificate.
The first drawing will be for a Salon Bella Vita gift certificate for $75.
All right, digging deep here.
It's got the lucky ticket.
All through it.
Paul Fruitt.
And then you're gonna pick a second one?
Yeah, we're gonna alternate.
Give Paul a lifetime of haircuts.
Yeah, right.
All right, the second winner,
For another gift certificate to the Bella Vita,
Abby Young.
Abby Young. Congratulations. Now, we will have a drawing for a winner of a lifelong learning course courtesy of Larissa and the programming department.
Nancy Coomer.
Congratulations. And now we'll have a second drawing for a learning course.
All right, let's see who we have here. Barbara Sherman.
Oh, wow.
Now we'll have a drawing for Naomi Webb's beautiful quilted wall hanging.
All right, Mary Salkeeper.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow, she'll be
Congratulations.
excited.
And again, we'll have a drawing for a dinner outing for 2, courtesy of Larissa and the programming department.
All right. We have Paul Chervinsky.
Congratulations, Paul. And the last dinner outing will be for two, courtesy again of Larissa and the programming department.
There we go. Bob Mesnick.
Congratulations. And now we'll have a drawing for two Red Sox tickets donated by Lou Wolf.
I'm gonna let the Super Red Sox fan make the selection. For God's sake. Oh, Jesus.
Did he win?
He was-
All right, here we go. Naomi Webb.
Naomi, it much deserved. Congratulations.
Good deeds well rewarded.
Remember, all the winners now that were eligible today already purchased tickets. And they'll continue to be eligible for the drawing next Thursday on the 9th and the grand drawing on the 16th. And I've got to tell you, I'm excited about the grand drawing prizes. Let me just share them with you. And the final drawing, there's actually going to be two types of prizes in the final drawing. There'll be the grand prize, which is 3 cash prizes. And then we'll also have a winner for a beer tasting for the winner and 6 friends. And it would be hosted by Steve Caldwell. And the second will be a chef's dinner for 4 with Matt Hollingshead. And you got to believe, with the boss sitting at the table, it is going to be great. And I would like to also point out that those 2 winners will still be eligible for the cash grand prizes. And every winner we've had in the previous raffles will be eligible for the cash grand prizes. And again, the 3rd grand prize is a $500 certificate for your rent. The second is $1,500. And the third, or the first grand prize will be a $3,000 rental credit. Now, remember, today's winners have bought tickets. And to be eligible for all the drawings I've just described, you have to have a ticket. And if you don't have a ticket, you haven't bought one yet, don't be discouraged. The Saints are still with you. There's still plenty of opportunity to buy a ticket. Our all-star ticket team is roaming the campus as we speak. So every resident will have an opportunity to participate in the raffle and, more importantly, support the scholarship fund. So please, reminder, tune in next Thursday, the 9th. We'll have a second raffle, more information. And before we leave, let me just leave you with one thought. Don't forget to buy a ticket. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you very much, Paul. We have a number of announcements. I'd ask everybody to be as concise as possible. Betty Shapiro.
Thanks, Jerry. I will be quick. It came as a surprise to me, and maybe it'll come as a surprise to you, that Passover is only 5 weeks away. So therefore, we are starting our collection for potato latke mix to be given to the kosher food pantry called Family Table. The place to deposit those boxes of latke mix is right outside Nosh. It's fairly empty now, and there's plenty of room for yours. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Charlie Small.
I'll make this quick. April Fool's Day, April 1st, Hospitality and Community Life is going to have a social program, Guess Who, where we're asking people to submit pictures of themselves between the ages of 15 and 30. And we'll have we'd like you to submit those to Christina by March 17th. And we're looking forward to having fun at guessing who we were at those times. Thank you.
Thank you. And Barbara Nadish.
I'll make this double quick. The Welcome Home charity that the Outreach Committee and the Newbridge is supporting We delivered 4 carloads of items today, which were donated by the residents. The person at Welcome Home told me that this month alone, they are servicing 250 families. So your products are going to good use, and we wish that you would hope that you will keep them coming. Thank you.
Thank you. So now Rabbi Judy Ehrlich.
Hello, everybody. I'll try to be really quick. I have 3 announcements to make. The first one is that this Friday night, the Hadassah chapter of Newbridge will be celebrating with, I hope, many of you at the Friday night service. It's 111 years since the founding of this very large international women's organization. So I wanted to let you know and encourage you to be there. Next, on Monday, the 6th of March, the art room will not be open for its usual art use because the Jewish Life Committee will be in there packing Purim gift bags for everybody. So if you are an eager artist planning to go down Monday morning, you don't want to get there and find, oops, it's not available. So I'm giving you a heads up on that. And while on the subject of Purim, the Purim dinner will be on Monday night, starting at 5:30. I encourage you to come in costume, but I encourage you to come no matter what, with or without. And it will be a fun evening followed by an abbreviated Megillah reading, and hope to see you there. That's it.
Thank you, Rabbi. Peter Halfon, Chair of the Food Committee. Do we see Peter?
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Jerry. On last week's Zoom and the following day, Matt's letter, he thanked the Dining Advisory Committee group for the very important work that they did in hiring a consultant and in getting a final report to us. And then he mentioned that the work of that committee is basically through, and the remaining work in terms of the implementation will go to the Food Committee. Yesterday was the meeting of the Food Committee. For 2 hours, Josh presented to us an outline of everything that was presented, the 40-page report, and we learned a lot. And the Food Committee just asked me to speak to all of you and let you know that as a group, we unanimously agreed that this was a very extensive, very important, and very thorough report. And we will be working extensively and very, very diligently with the food and beverage team to implement whatever we can find on that report. Let me follow up with just 2 other quick announcements or comments. One is, for 3 days now, we've had the community room in the Copper Beach room. All reports are that it has been extremely successful. Now, this was a new venture. It's something never done before. And what I would ask all of you that will go there is to either let Joel, let Josh, let Adriana, or any member of the Food Committee know how wonderful it is. And also if you have any, minor concerns, so that we can get that better. The second one is kitchen tours. Kitchen tours started last Thursday. 19 people signed up, 10 were invited to go. The other 9 people are on a waiting list for the next tour, which is next month. These are very important, and I urge anybody that feels that they can walk and stand for an hour to go on one of those tours. It's very enlightening. Chef Eileen leads the tours, and she's very wants everybody to see her kitchens. Those kitchens get an A from not only me, but they get it from the kitchen, from the dining advisory, not from the dining advisory, but from Third Plus Group. And I'm going to read you what they say because this is the basis of where we go. From the kitchen organization and cleanliness, the back of house team gets an emphatic A in this category. This is one of the cleanest and most organized kitchens we've seen anywhere in the nation. And so that's kudos to that whole team led by Eileen, Chef Eileen. And it is the foundation for where we go. So we're not building from the bottom, we're building from the top. And, we pledge that we will keep everybody informed on a weekly basis as to what the progress we're making. With Josh to give you the presentation.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Josh, go ahead.
Thank you, Jerry, and thank you, Peter. And I also want to extend my thanks. I was not on the Zoom call last week as I was on vacation. So my thanks to the DAG group for their work over the past year in procuring and putting together and approving the operational summary by Third Plus. And I want to thank in advance the work that's ahead of us that the Food Committee will be collaborative and supportive on. So thank you, Peter, and everybody on the Food Committee. One of the key words that I took from Peter was that the report is extensive. There, 40 pages of observations and then recommendations and suggestions. So what we have done is, as you all know, we did adopt unanimously all of the recommendations and suggestions from Third Plus, but we have to put it into a workable timeline and break it down. So we worked with Third Plus to do an operational summary, and we now have a 4-phased summary that I'm going to share with you momentarily. And this was built from the items that we feel can be accomplished within the 1 to 6 month period. So what would be considered short term. There are many projects and suggestions and recommendations within the report that are more mid-length, and then there are some that are long-term projects as well. So I'm going to share my screen.
Okay, so good. If you want, you
Oh,
don't.
Jerry,
Yeah, just a second, Josh.
Okay. So when I get into the phases, I just wanted to give kind of a brief breakdown that phase 1 items we consider to be fairly simple and easy to accomplish. This will give the team a sense of success and accomplishment and show movement to the community on these items. On the phase 2 piece, it's more setting the groundwork for operational excellence, putting the systems in place and organization. The third phase, as we move through these items, are centered around creating the culture, including training and development for the staffs and teams, and then beginning that roadmap to success. And then phase 4 involves creating and rebranding the dining venues and new direction for the hospitality platform. A big piece of this is communication to the residents and surrounding community about the amazing improvements and endeavors that we have undertaken. So when I'm going through the phases, it kind of gives you an idea of what the phases are. I'm all set to share, you said, Jerry?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, thank you. Can everybody see?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. So phase 1, display appearance, removing promo display refrigeration, removing general signs and posters throughout the dining venues. So these are surrounding the aesthetics of some of the kitchens and dining areas. Signage and communication enhancements. These are currently in process. Signage for the complimentary beer and wine that we are serving in the nosh that is included with the dinner. Analyzation of current scheduling and staffing levels to ensure proper service, making sure that we are not understaffed and of course we are not overstaffed. And then using those levels to establish staffing pars so that managers are able to formulate accurate schedules. Phase 2, these involve food platform enhancements with direct resident impact and will be highly visible to the community. So recipe platform for recipe collection and production process. Menu redesign. Involved in the menu redesign is offering half portions of many of the menu offerings. Extending dining hours, including opening central earlier. Kitchen tours, which help to address any food myths or misconceptions about the operation. And as Peter had mentioned, the kitchen tours are actually already underway. Social media to promote our in-house baker and the culinary team and the wonderful work that they do behind the scenes. Ice cream options, a hot topic that is always within the community, and how we can extend the ice cream offerings. That information was procured directly from the focus groups and resident surveys. And then kosher food products. This was a recommendation of improving and selecting a new kosher vendor, which actually we have already done. So phase 3, culture and team training initiatives. Developing a culture of dining booklet, not only for the staff, but also for the residents. Retrain back of the house, the culinary teams, cooks, and leaders on how to prepare menu items. Of course, front of the house or service culture training. A focus and redesign of the lunch customer service and delivery, particularly in Nosh. Front of the house customer service training and back of the house culture training. Fine dining versus upscale casual discussion and rebranding. This again was based on direct feedback from the focus groups and survey of what's most important to the community at large. And then 6 months schedule of events to allow for proper planning and additional events that we have found to be very well received by the community. And then phase 4, again, these might be some of the longer term, longer projects. A rebrand of Centro and Nosh, including the concept, menu, and communications. Rebrand and redesign of the treats, including concept, offerings, and communication. Removal of the ping pong table and replacing with soft seating, cafe style. Concept the convenience store, offering delivery and branding of the store. Investing in dining room decor, tabletop, flowers, and signage to increase the ambiance and aesthetics of the dining rooms. Community room utilization, which Peter had mentioned we have rolled out and so far has been well received. Disposable plating packaging, looking at options with the disposable plating. Switching to more of an upscale to go and grab and go paper products. Local product purchasing training to ensure that we are using wherever possible fresh local vendors, particularly with produce. And food waste and promoting composting, which we have a composting program, but we can expand on that and finding ways to reduce food waste. And I think that is it. Thank you, Jerry, for allowing me to share.
Thank you. So Matt, we're ready for you.
Awesome. Everybody can probably tell I'm calling in from my home headquarters. My wife's traveling this weekend. She's off to Atlanta for a wedding. So I am home with the boys. So this morning I had the joy of doing bus stop drop off and preschool drop off and pick up and all that other stuff that goes with it. So if I look a little ragged, I'm going to be eager to get back to work on Monday because that's going to be the break. So bear with me. Jerry, I do see some hands raised, and I imagine these are questions relating to what Josh just presented. So
All right, why didn't they just appeared? Okay, so Anna Mark is first.
What does rebranding mean? It's all over the place and I don't know what it means.
Thank you. Thank you, Anna. Working rebranding is working with Third Plus and some of our internal marketing to create a more noticeable brand. Consistency in the templates, the menus, the communication. So everything that we do has more of a consistent feel, from the menu templates to the communication platforms to maybe even the decor and establishing so it fits within a certain brand. And what we will strive to do is to make the brand fit in with the menu design. So some of these projects will coincide with each other to make the improvements that we strive to make based on their recommendations. I can't hear you, Anna.
I still don't know. You used the word brand 4 times. I still don't know what brand means.
Branding can be something like the Centro, the emblem, and the Nosh emblem, and the overall, feel of the venues, and having a purpose. And I don't know how else to really communicate brand.
Josh, if I may, and
Please,
think
Matt.
of it as a theme.
Thank you.
You go into the Capitol Grill, it has a theme. It has all the same color motifs. It uses all the same fonts on their menus and their signage. It's to give it one cohesive feel. So the feedback basically was that we're not cohesive in the theme and the feel of what we're putting forward right now in our dining menus. It does a really good job with that are cruise ships. They'll have a steakhouse and it's got this very unique feel with, maybe some dim lighting and some blue lettering, and that seems to be on everything. And then they'll have an Italian place and it's got, the red and the wines everywhere and things like that. So it's theming it basically.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Judy Goldman. Unmute.
I'm trying to. Oh, here I am. Will we residents be receiving copies of what you just showed, Josh?
Matt, I don't know that we landed on whether that would be included. That's a great question. Would I be sending out this summary, Matt?
The summary that was just sent. Yeah, I don't think there's any harm in doing so. The challenge with sending it out, Judy, is without explanation behind it from a team member, it might not give you enough information to go off of.
Well, I'm thinking in terms of phase. If we're in phase 1, it would be helpful to have a copy of it.
So absolutely. You recall that I've been saying all along, we're going to come up with this work plan, and then we're going to get on the Zoom call together and we're going to share with you where we are in the phases and what we've accomplished and what we're working on. This is that plan that we were talking about. The one that we have is going to be a little more detailed because it'll be assigned dates for completion and who it will be assigned to complete. So we'll be using that as our guide. So you'll see this a lot.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Betty Shapiro, then Terry Union.
Yeah, I'm wondering how one signs up for a kitchen tour.
Thank you. So that will go in the foodie, usually a couple of weeks ahead of time. I believe there's already a waiting list. Betty, let me take your email down. And I don't know if Chef Eileen, are you on or Joel on the call?
Yes, we are.
We're here.
Thank you. How could Betty best sign up for the next kitchen tour?
So Betty, if you'll just call the trip line and talk to Joe Zogalis, the amazing Joe Zogalis, may I add, he'll hook you up. But Josh hit on a key point. There's already a waiting list. That's how popular the demand is for this kitchen tour. So please be patient as we try to work our way through the waiting list, and we'll get you signed up and give you a tour.
Thank you. I was just wondering how those people who were already on there got there, but okay, thank you.
Okay, Terry Union.
So, Josh, first of all, on your comment about the themes, I have to commend Joel and you and June for what you've done in Nosh. We've had several theme dinners that were just lovely. The food was not only very good, but the decor that went with it made it all very special. But the other thing I wanted to ask you, which is something I have to ask you, although you've heard it 44 times, and that is, will the plates that you purchase be compostable?
Well, I mean, I think, I know that Joel's been working on that as well. Joel, do you want to field this one? I mean, the recommendation, from Third Plus was to upscale. I don't know that the mention of 100% compostable was. Joel, where are we at with that for disposables?
Well, disposables is always a challenge for us, but we're working with our purchasing team to try to go to as close to 100% as possible. Now, please realize all of these recommendations and whatnot have just landed on us. So some of these things we already have in process, and thankfully my work with you and Mary Jane Milner has kind of given me a head start, even with the composting. But we definitely can do a much better job as far as trying to get those compostable items in, especially with like the silverware, disposable silverware and things like that. But we have to do this the right way. So we want to take our time, find the right products, and make sure that they can come instantly. That's a big factor for us right now, is to make sure we get products that are consistent, compostable, and in the right price point.
Thank you.
Carol Marlin.
Of course.
Thank you very much, Josh, for that report. And Peter, that was finally we get to see some details. And I'm very pleased. One of the things I noticed is local produce, which is something I feel very much that we missed out on. And I'm glad that that's going to be a goal, that more local products. And I'm anticipating spring and summer will have the wonderful local products that are available. The thing that I don't see yet, and I don't know if this is a long-term goal, but the idea of having at least on call, a dietitian, and also the prospect of knowing what we're eating. And, those of us who are supposed to be on low sodium, I mean, exactly, are you using the best kind of low salt products, or a sense that, that you're going in the direction that I think is a direction that people today kind of expect, that we know what we're eating, and if that's a long-term goal and part of the project.
Thank you, Karen. I'm going to answer part of that, and then I'm going to turn some of it over to Joel and Eileen about the nutritional information, because it's great that you bring that up, because you'll notice in the foodie this week some information about the start of having that information be available. But one of the things, again, the whole report in its entirety is extensive and has only been shared with the DAG group and the food committee in its entirety. But one of the things that they recommended, the kitchen tours, the purpose of that was to quell myths or misconceptions. And because they realized that all of our bases are not only of highest quality, but of very low sodium, and that the products that we were using excel what they see in most other CRCs and senior living communities. So that's why they think it's so important that we got the kitchen tours up and running, is because we can showcase and highlight the organization of the equipment, the products that we're bringing in and using. They did have some recommendations on how we can improve, but overall, they gave us, the culinary team, the entire operation, very high marks, which I think Peter had alluded to. Joel and Chef, do either of you want to jump in about the nutritional information, where we're at, and what's coming down the pike this month?
Sure. So I'm happy to report that we've compiled some recipe items for Nosh and Centro, and I'll be placing some nutritional information booklets in both outlets, Nosh and Centro, but also 2 booklets, one from Nosh, one from Centro, in the library reading room, so that you can peruse and at your leisure, check out those informational stats.
Okay, we'll move on from that. Carol Klingon.
Yeah, I just put into the chat a little more comprehensive definition of branding, and what I wrote is not comprehensive, but it's much more than what Josh said. It really has to do with the overall identity of our food venues, and the from the naming to what the experience is to the what it looks like. And I just gave a little more. It's about, what does this place stand for? So I just offer that to people as a little more detailed sense of what they're talking about.
Thank you, Carol.
Okay, thank you. And Nancy Kuma.
Yeah, thanks for all this information and for all your hard work. I wonder if you could tell us who to give feedback to when we want to give feedback on, on different aspects of this whole project. Because we don't want to flood people with, with inappropriate comments. You've got enough to do. So if you could, give us more detail about who to talk to about what. And on that same matter, I just recently, there was something that I really wanted to give some feedback about in Centro, and the manager of the evening was gone, and I'm wondering how late they stay and how to get in touch with them if they've gone already.
Okay, so a couple of questions in there, Nancy. When you're providing feedback, I mean, there are many outlets you can choose. Myself, Joel, and Eileen, as leaders of the food and beverage, are always available to receive information, whether you contact us by phone or email. The members of the food committee, depending if you have, whether you have a good relationship or you have a way of contacting them, which it is in the who to call portion of the foodie, the contact of the food committee. When you bring to any of them, they will also bring those to the monthly meetings. Of course, if it's something within the dining room in real time, your best bet is to communicate your feedback to the manager or chef on duty. And as you know, typically those are posted in Centro and in Nosh, who the manager and culinary supervisor are. As far as what time a manager is there, I mean, they are typically there until the end of dinner service. Once all the meals are, okay. So, that's something I'd like to hear about a particular night. There are times where once all the meals are served, they may hand it off to a lead. We are down some people. We have been operating with just one manager in Nosh. As you know, June, he has not had a supervisor since Marie France left. And we have been moving some people and offering support to Adriana in Centro in the way of Chelsea. But there are lead positions that are available. But I'd like to hear what night, and what we typically do is we communicate to the residents if a manager is leaving to make sure they've done all their table touches. And if that didn't happen, Nancy, I'd certainly want to know about it, and I can follow up with Joel and the team.
Joel, let's do that offline. I think that's too.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Barbara Nadich.
This is a question for, I guess, Josh and Nosh. Has it ever been studied to replace the paper products that you use on dairy night with glass dishes so that you wouldn't have all this paper being thrown out? I know that depends on a dairy dishwasher, but has that been installed, or was rumor wrong?
Well, actually, I think either Joel or maybe Chef can give the update on that status. Joel or Chef, are you guys still on?
We are.
Yeah, so the good news is, Barbara, we did get the kosher dairy dish machine in, but we're still waiting on electricians and somebody from Trimark to install it. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we'll have it installed. We do have actually the glass china in-house. So once we get the machine up and running, next week, I believe we have dairy night, which will still have to use paper, but then hopefully after that, we should be ready to go.
Great.
We're just waiting on vendors trying to help us kind of hook up the machine. Because if they don't come in, then we're out of warranty, so we have to wait for them. We're on their mercy, but as soon as we're up and running, we have the dish machines, we'll let you all guys know.
Okay, thank you.
Back to you, Matt.
All right, I'm back. When you all sign up for kitchen tours, you'll notice that this dish machine we're talking about is not your residential dishwasher. I mean, this is a big industrial piece of equipment. So we can't just plug it in and off we go. This is quite a piece of equipment. So it'll be awesome once it's up and running. We appreciate your patience, and we're almost there. And good job, Chef and Joel, getting it there. The other thing I wanted to mention in regards to the information that Josh just shared is on phase 4, you know, the report talks a lot about, and we touched on this when we did an overview, that a lot of the challenges at Newbridge have to do with the physical space of Newbridge. That means the original design of NOSH, the limited capacity for storage in Centro. Those are still very real issues. And what we're going to be doing is hopefully identifying a designer and an architect and looking at what we can do to enhance those spaces. From there, we can figure out what the cost associated with that work would be, and then we can plan for it. So it's a longer term goal, but it is an absolutely necessary component to improving the dining experience. So here's the thing, the stuff that we're primarily talking about with all of you right now, these are the things that we as the management team can do. But we are still slightly limited by the actual space itself. So we're going to be working on the space piece, but simultaneously working on all the things that we can put into place quickly. So there's 2 paths to this project that are running at the same time. So just wanted to share that with everyone, because that's an important piece of this. Newbridge is a brilliant, brilliant place, and we're also lucky to be there, but the kitchen's literally very far away from everywhere else. And the satellite kitchens are not big enough to do what they want. And NOSH is being used in a way in which it was never designed. And that's wonderful that the team has been able to adapt and provide, because that has been the desire of the residents. But at the same point, they're limited. So their creativity has actually gotten us as far as we are today. But we're going to have to make an investment in those places. But it's going to take us some time to get there. And I personally have to plan accordingly the finances to make sure that we can do it and do it in a way that furthers our community. So I just wanted to share that a little bit. Any questions, last questions about culinary before I jump into the Groundhog Day topic of COVID-19? Okay, I'm going to take silence as I keep going, Matt.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I'm going to share my screen as I always do. Let's see. Okay, the numbers continue to be good. That is the good news. We are seeing in our county here 7 cases per 100,000, which, as we know at this point, it's a pretty good number. We usually might see it drop down to 5 or 6, but this is right around is the lowest risk that we've seen in a while, so that's good. This represents a decline of 26% over the last 2 weeks, and you can see the chart trending downward. And you can see over here, it represents 7% positivity rate for all of the people that are getting COVID tests. Right now in IL, we have 2 COVID positives. They are rebound cases. This has been happening with Paxlovid, which, you know, you don't feel well, you take Paxlovid, your symptoms go away, you start testing negative, and in some instances, you have a little bit of a rebound case. So that's what we're experiencing now. So these are not new cases, these are rebound cases, and I think we'll see more of that. And then, as expected, when case numbers are down, so are hospitalizations. So you have 12 per 100,000, or a decline of 20%. So overall in the Commonwealth, we are doing really well. Here we are again. This is even more specific, 6.5 per 100,000. This one is not rounded up, so that's why I'd like to show you all that. If you're going to Boston, catch a show, a little bit more of a risk, but not much more of a risk. If you're going out west a little bit, it's a little bit higher right now in Worcester County, which is interesting. And then if you're going to go south, Plymouth County, 7.8, a little bit higher as well. 8.1, a little bit higher. But overall, the risk factor right now is pretty good. And the warmer weather we have, I anticipate, the better we'll be. I still want to put a plug though. If you contract COVID-19, please let security know. It's so important because it allows us to adjust our protocols to keep everybody as safe as possible. And if we don't know if you have it, we can't adjust those protocols. So that's really important. And then lastly, there are a ton of colds going around right now. A lot of people in our community have been asking for COVID tests. They're negative, but they have cold-like symptoms. So there's a lot of colds going around. So please be aware of that. Wash your hands. That's the easiest thing you can do. And with that, I'm going to leave it open for any questions around COVID.
We have
I think there's Stan.
Stan Triton, go ahead.
On COVID. Oh, just a minute. I got to unmute, but I thought I was. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Yes,
can hear you, Stan.
Okay, I have a question not on COVID, but something else. Is that all right?
go ahead.
On the outage the other night, when the power was out, why did it take so long to come back on? I thought we had automatic that backup generator will come on quickly.
So Stan, you're jumping to number 4 on my list.
Sorry.
That's okay. I'll hit that one first, or second in this case. So the way this works, there are 2 power feeds that go to Newbridge. There is one from the Dedham side, okay, and there's one from the Needham side, and they meet at the switch gear. And when one side goes out, okay, the switch gear flips over and connects to the other side. So in this case, Dedham went out, so it should have flipped over to Needham. The switch gear is owned by Eversource. The switch gear did not automatically switch over like it is supposed to. This also occurred at the prison. We are on backup generators for things that need emergency power. So for example, the healthcare center, that entire building's on backup power. Kitchen hoods, elevators, life safety systems, those type of things. Your apartments are not necessarily on backup power, okay? The whole campus is not, just because the amount of backup power that we would need to do that would just be outrageous for the size of our campus. So the good news is, on our end, everything worked exactly as it should have. The delay was Eversource took a while to send somebody to manually flip and switch over the switch gear to change the power feed from Dedham to Needham. And apparently there was a down wire somewhere on West Street. And so that's what impacted us. The other thing I'm going to say is a lot of you were awake in the middle of the night. I couldn't believe it. Get your rest. It's really important. So, Stan, I hope that answered your question.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Any other questions on the power outage? Like I said, the good news is, you know, everything worked on our end as planned. Now, if we could get Eversource to do what they've committed to, that's a different story. But on our side, we are good. I'm going to give a quick update for Christina on the pool. We're back in business. Pool's open. It's the normal hours. And Christina, I think you can jump on if you want, but I think it's 9 a.m. till 11 p.m. or something like that.
Nope, it's 5 a.m. to 11 p.m.
That pool is open. That pool is really open.
And I did hear that we had a couple
Christina-
summers today, so I hope everything went well in the pool. Happy that it's open again for you.
Thank you, Christina. And thank you to you. You did a masterful job coordinating a lot of different contractors and moving pieces on that. So, so for the swimmers, welcome back to the pool. We're glad to have you. And then the last thing I'm just going to touch on is more of just a public service announcement for all of you, from my caring heart to you. Looks like we're getting one more shot of interesting New England weather. I don't think there's going to be any significant accumulation, but it looks quite sloppy between rain and snow. This is Friday to Saturday. So please take it slow, take your time, be mindful of what you're doing. It just takes a few minutes to prepare, but it just takes a second to have an accident. So please be careful and be safe.
So Charlie Small, go ahead.
Just a general question. In both Centro and in Nosh, certainly everything recently has been from my viewpoint, running very smoothly, et cetera. And it seems there are a great number of new staff members. So I was just curious on an update of the staffing situation. Are there any changes anticipated because everything seems to be staffing up? Just a general question like that.
Great
Again,
question.
very.
Joel, I'm gonna let you tackle it.
Go ahead, Joel.
Joel? I think. we
Yeah, I'm
lost-
sorry. We're having some audio issues on our end. Could you repeat the question?
Joel,
Sure.
the question is.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The question is, do we anticipate any changes in service because it appears that staffing is improving?
Oh, thank you. So you will see some changes, especially in Centro on Tuesday. I'm happy to announce that we are more staffed on Tuesday to where we can have full service and walk away from having buffet service on Tuesday. So I see this as a trend as we're slowly getting closer and closer. And I'm just going to tease this too. We just had a meeting with the Centro team. We were talking about brunch offerings. So we're making plans. We're anticipating being staffed, and we're getting there. I really appreciate everyone's patience. This has been a long journey, but I think now we're on much more solid footing, and we're looking towards normalizing our operations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jane or Robert Lewitt? Unmute, please.
Has there been any further exploration of the ventilation system in Centro? Because it does interfere with conversation.
The air conditioning fan.
You know, the air conditioning, heat, whatever, goes through the, you know, the conduits in this, you know, close to the ceiling.
Thank you, Mr. Lewitt. There's conversations from Third Plus's perspective with us about how we can improve or reduce the amount of decibels of noise that are occurring within Centro. That's part of this overall work that we're doing. In terms of the HVAC systems themselves, the likelihood of swapping those out is probably not too late, but changing some of the softer furnishings and fixtures and things like that. And as Jerry will talk about, likely there's also some reverb that occurs when you have hard surfaces and people are near each other and you have to speak up. So there are ways to address this, but not directly with the HVAC system itself.
Good.
Okay. Go ahead, Elaine Canningsburg.
Thank you. I just want to say Alan and I had dinner last night at Centro in Copper Beach. We can walk-ins, and it was really very nice. We were not put at a table with anybody else. We were told to sit wherever we'd like. And it was not terribly crowded. The food was delicious. And all in all, it was a very nice experience. And Mario did a wonderful job as the one and only wait person. So thank you.
That's great. Thank you, Elaine.
You're welcome.
Okay, Matt.
Well, that's it for me. I think I've given you all enough. I probably put you to sleep. Thank you for listening.
Everybody stuck it out to the end. So thank you very much. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.